All right, today I'm taking a look at some of your guys' setups that you submitted to me on Twitter. I'm not roasting today, so for now, you're all safe from my horribly written jokes. This is just really for the purpose of giving you guys some helpful feedback on your setups, helping improve them. And I'm not a setup guru by any stretch, but I've definitely learned a lot of things about what makes a tidy setup, a clean setup over the years, so maybe I can impart some of that knowledge to you today. I'm also kind of doing this for selfish purposes. I've been looking for inspiration for my own setups recently. As you can see, there's a very blank wall behind me that I'm looking to dress up soon, as well as my home office / game room that I'm hoping to turn it into. So maybe I'll get some good ideas from you as well. Today's video is brought to you by Slick Deals and their super awesome browser extension. Not only is the extension completely free, guys, but it automatically finds you the best deals on your favorite retail sites to save you the most money possible. And all the deals that it shows you are actually curated by the Slick Deals community, so you only see offers that have been upvoted by other shoppers like you. You go to a retailer's website, click the Slick Deals icon, and bam! You're in Deal City. Population deals. I didn't really know what to expect the very first time I used it, but literally within seconds I was finding all kinds of offers. Like there was a B550 motherboard for 30% off or something like that, where I was like, okay, I don't need that, but that's a really good deal. The extension also automatically adds any site-wide promo codes or coupons at checkout, and it lets you create deal alerts with email and mobile push notifications. This is like the perfect tool to catch all the deals without doing any of the legwork. About 20 million people will be using Slick Deals to help them save money while shopping. So again, it's completely free and saves you money on stuff like computer hardware. Need I continue? If you like saving money, which is a dumb thing to say because who doesn't, click on the link in the description below to start using the Slick Deals browser extension today. So why don't we just jump right in? I haven't vetted any of these. I usually do vet them and kind of pick out, which setups and pictures I think are gonna work well for the roasts, but this time around, I'm seeing all of these picks for the first time. So completely raw and unfiltered, starting with cherries. Sure, cherries. Okay, this is actually a pretty clean looking setup. Right out of the gate, not too bad. Picture quality's horrible. I'm glad your setup looks better than your camera quality. And it looks like you don't have a lot of room to work with here. You're probably confined to a small shoebox room like a lot of us are. But that's cool. You've still managed to do a lot with very little space. I mean, your desk is tiny, but you've really found a way to maximize the desk space by doing things like getting a monitor stand, which is why you're probably able to fit 2 panels side by side relatively easily, and also not getting a super large computer case. Looks like a mid-tower chassis, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure which one this is, though. I don't really recognize that. But at any rate, nice color combo here, kind of going with that retro hotline vibe, which I always dig, of course. And I really like the nano leaf pattern here. It's not too excessive or in your face. It's kind of making me want, like lately I've been thinking maybe I'll just cave, just screw it. Cause I've always kind of, I shouldn't say I've been against nano leaf panels. They're just so overused and kind of overdone, played out maybe. But they do look really nice. I gotta admit, I gotta give them credit. They look really nice, and there's really nothing on the market that's quite like them. They're just really expensive and very common, but I still might cave anyway. So thanks for inspiring me there. But yeah, I do like the fact that you're using an RGB light bulb inside of your floor lamp here. I think that's a nice way to sort of tie everything together and just coordinate the colors really nicely. It's a nice little touch that I notice. I notice the details. Also, boom mic is well placed, looks pretty decent. You've got the classic gamer chair, which I'm not gonna fault you for. Not a huge fan of gaming chairs, but to each their own. It does look very stylish, and it does match your desk setup and stuff, the black and white. Nice wallpaper, I dig the wallpaper. Your desktop icons seem organized. There's a lot of them, but they kind of seem grouped together, so very organized there. And it looks like you have a pretty minimal peripheral setup with your keyboard and mouse. Doesn't look like it's got a number pad, so 10 keyless, which looks really clean. Also, you've got this extra large mouse mat, which is not a Bitwit Ensemble 1 mouse mat, so I'm gonna fault you for that. But yeah, you're dead to me. We also have, it's kind of hard to see the inside of your system. Again, picture quality is not the best and it's kind of far away, but it looks clean enough. Looks like you've got an RGB Wraith cooler in there, some RGB RAM, some RGB fans, really going all out with the unicorn bonnet. Custom sleeve cables, which I always appreciate, definitely cleans up things a lot. What is that on top of your case? Are those cups, mugs? I can't really tell, it's so dark, but whatever they are. Okay, I wish I had a better look at them. I also like the fact that you're using an under-desk headphone holder. That's always really handy, just especially with a desk this size. You want to clean it up as much as possible, and that's a great way to do it. I just hope it's not interfering with your legs, because it looks kind of like it would be a little cramped under there, and hopefully you're not bumping into it all the time. Of course, when you're at your desk, you're probably using the cans on your head, so it might not be an issue anyway. Honestly, I wish I had more to critique about this setup, but it's actually really clean, really well done, and it just goes to show that you don't need an extravagantly large desk in order to have a super clean setup. So job well done. You've managed to improvise very nicely here, and it looks like a really comfortable place to chill and game at. Good job, Cherries. What a tough act to follow as our first submission. Next, we've got Edmund. All right, Edmund, you also have a dual monitor situation here with a similar desk stand, and it looks like a similar sized desk as well. The picture's kind of cropped in, kind of zoomed in a bit far, so I wish it was further back so I could get a bigger picture, but it looks pretty clean. I mean, there's certain things that you could fix around here. For example, you've got no real good place for your controller. I think you could maybe get like a stand, like, I don't know, you can get either a stand that goes nicely on your desk, or you can even get like a wall mount, like a wall holder. I've got one in the bathroom. I know, weird. But those work really great as well, and it kind of just gets that off your desk, makes it look a lot cleaner, and it's just a dedicated spot for it so you don't lose in that sort of thing. You have a monkey on your boom pole. That's what she said. I don't know. But I don't really mind the monkey. It adds some character, and it doesn't look like he's in the way much. Although your headset right next to him is a little bit out of place. This is where you could really take a note out of Cherry's book and get one of those under-desk headphone holders. It doesn't look like you have much room on your desk for something like this, like an actual surface-mounted holder, which is fine. Just get something under your desk. That'll be really helpful because this just looks sloppy. Every time you move the boom pole around, you're going to be, fidgeting with the headset and stuff. It's just not a really graceful solution. And then you've got this cable coming off of your front I/O, which I'm a hypocrite in all of this, by the way. Like all these things that I'm pinging people on, I do myself all the time. But I'm making a video, so I'm allowed to say it. And I fully admit that most of these setups are much better than mine. Like this is way cleaner than my setup right now. But the point is for me to give you helpful tips to make it better, not to compare your setup to mine. So in that case, I would say try to route this cable from behind your system. It would look a lot cleaner, or even under. If you could do it under the table and maybe have like a little clip that holds that end of the cable in place so that you can just bring it around and plug whatever phone or other device into it whenever you need to, that would also clean things up significantly. We also have a bit of cabling here. I mean, maybe you could just go straight down with the cables. This is clearly coming from your PC. That looks like an Ethernet cable, some display cables and stuff. If you can make those go straight down so it's not just making this hop over from your system to behind your monitor, that would look a lot cleaner, obviously. It's just very noticeable since it's like, got some black cables in there. We also have another cable that's just chilling here. What is this, USB-C, something like that, a lightning cable? I don't know. But that also doesn't look very clean. So you want to find a way to organize your cables a bit more neatly. So you kind of just want to clear those out of the way so you don't see them when you're not using them, but so that they're still accessible easily when you do. And I just noticed right now that your two panels are actually different. You've got an HP over here and a BenQ display on the left, which ordinarily I would make more of a fuss about, but they look so similar in style and size that, that's the reason why I just noticed it now. So not a huge deal, I guess. I just hope that they're the same resolution for your sake, because it's always annoying having side-by-side panels with different resolutions. In my opinion, it gets really annoying when you're like moving windows over from one screen to the other and the scaling's all different and stuff. But so far, so good. It's really not the worst setup that I've seen. It's not the best setup that I've seen, but it does seem to have potential, and I think with a little bit of tender love and care, you can eventually get where you want to be with it. Next up, we have Kahil. Oh, all right, we get like a full look into your bedroom. Okay, this guy's brave. All right, this is interesting. Look at this U-shaped desk, a very uniquely shaped desk. That's actually kind of cool. It definitely utilizes a lot of your floor space, and there's tons of room for activities here. You've also got a triple panel display, but it doesn't look like any of them are matching, unfortunately, which if you guys haven't been able to tell by now, I'm kind of a stickler about. Although I think the side panels, the two panels on the sides look like they might match. They have like almost the exact same bezels. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're the same. So you got that, and then you've got this gaming monitor in the middle, which looks like it's from Gigabyte, if I'm reading that correctly. It's kind of tiny. So it's understandable that you wouldn't want to buy two more of these gaming displays if you're only going to be gaming on one of them, because that's just a lot of wasted money. But I don't know, I feel like there's something else you could do here to just make it look a little less awkward. Like maybe if you got a monitor stand that clips to the back of your desk or something that could support all 3 displays, you could float them off the desk, which would look a lot cleaner instantly, but you could also make it so that they're all sort of even together. Because see how the 2 panels on the sides are way lower than the middle panel? Then, I mean, you could always like lower this one, but I don't know. I just think with so many different monitor stands on the desk, it really starts to look cluttered no matter what setup you're using. So I think getting a monitor stand and floating the 3 of these off your desk would be a huge improvement for sure. I like your peripheral style. You know, you got one of those ultra lightweight mice and a 10 keyless keyboard, which is completely white, matches your system, which is beautiful, by the way. Very nice rig, and also a very ballsy move to have all white peripherals, because I know whenever I use white peripherals for more than like a week or 2, you could just see my filth on it so clearly. So hopefully you're cleaning it regularly. I can't tell from this distance and from this picture quality how clean your peripherals are, but hopefully you're maintaining them properly. Bonus points for having a hook under your desk for your headset, and you know, nice cute little pop figurines here on top of your system. Hopefully they're not impacting too much airflow. And then you've also got kind of a cluttered mess on the right side though. I feel like this could be organized a bit more neatly. You've got some hard drives, some paper products and pens. I don't know, maybe find a way to either get that further away from your tech setup here, the gaming area, or just find some drawers, some cupboards, cabinets to put them in, because it just looks a little disheveled at the moment. You've also got, and I know this is a big suggestion that you don't have to do, no one has to follow any of my advice in these videos, but ever consider painting this desk? Unless you just love this color and you're totally fine with it, that's cool too. You do you, boo. But I just think it's kind of an eyesore, and it's not like anything else in your setup really matches it. You know, if you had, I don't know, like a beige themed system with Noctua fans in it, then, you know, I could see it working out really well. But it just kind of seems like the desk was a hand-me-down, an afterthought, wasn't really planned out. Painting it black or even white, if you're brave enough, I think would change the overall look and feel of this setup dramatically, because it's such a huge desk. It would have just such an impact. So something to consider there. And also, if you did black or white, it would kind of match the rest of your room, which, you know, is again very color neutral and monochromatic and stuff. Something to consider. It would be a fun summer project, you know, if you're into that sort of thing. But overall, again, another setup that isn't fantastic. It's not terrible, but certainly has a lot of potential. RGB for the win. Well, what do you think? My little RGB man cave with a Ryzen 9 3950X, RTX 3080. Okay, swanky. Wow. This is pretty sweet, actually. Looks like some IKEA desks. I think these are the exact same desks that I'm using here. Those are exactly the same. I even recognize the IKEA legs and stuff. So we're brothers, and you even kind of have it situated and mounted to the wall in a very similar fashion. It's almost exactly the same. You've been copying me, haven't you? I mean, I'm flattered. Thank you for watching the videos. But no, the desk looks fantastic. I think it looks great. I might be biased. And your main setup looks pretty good. Also a dual screen setup. It would look really nice if you had a matching monitor. My gripe here is that you've got cables that are visible coming from the top and the bottom. I think the bottom ones are coming from your monitor, obviously, but then this top one looks like it's coming from this LED light bar. And is that Govee? What kind of light bar is that? It might be a Govee strip, I'm not sure. It looks like there's like felt. It almost looks like a fabric wall. What's going on with your wall? At any rate, it looks cool. The wall looks really cool, but it also makes cables stick out like a sore thumb. So I would try to find a way to, I don't know, route this cable along this slanted area of your wall and then maybe down to where it's less obvious. If it's not long enough, try to find an extension for it or something like that. I don't know what can be done really, but this just doesn't look very good. IMO, and then especially these cables, this bunch of cables coming from the monitor, not doing it for me. So I don't know, drill a hole, pass them through the bottom. You could easily hide them under this desk like I've done. I like how you've displayed your Intel or your CPU boxes. You got Intel and Ryzen here. Very creative way to sort of mount them on the wall while still looking clean. It's like, it looks nerdy, but it also looks clean and homey. So I appreciate that. There is a weird cable coming from this one though. Like what's up with that cable? I don't understand. Looks like a zip line for ants or something. With your peripherals, you've got an RGB mouse and an RGB mouse pad. Your keyboard looks a little lonely. I feel like there's a lot of RGB going on here, and I feel like these keys should be lit up. If you don't have an RGB keyboard, I think it could add a little bit of flair to this area of the setup. And also maybe get an extra large Bitwit mousepad if you're interested. Might look kind of cool in this setup. Circling back to these cables, by the way, I did want to give you some credit and say that the rest of your cable management is fantastic. Like, I don't see any cables underneath your desk. I mean, there's one right here, but that's a small one. You did a really good job. And I'm also wondering what display or what system are these monitors actually connected to? Is it out of the picture? Oh, it's right here, it's behind the chair. Obviously, it's behind the chair. Okay, I barely saw that. So, but yeah, you did a really good job cleaning them up underneath your desk. You just need to figure out a way to not make this happen. Drill a hole, man. Hopefully there's a way that you can do that with this wall. I have no idea what's behind the wall, if it's like studs or brick or whatever, or just a bunch of fabric looking stuff. This wall's tripping me out. And on a final note, I really like the fact that you've used some plants here in the setup. You know, I've definitely seen plenty of setups that don't have a plant in sight that look phenomenal, but I also feel like depending on the aesthetic of your setup, sometimes if you have like earthy tones, like you're using a lot of earthy tones here, like with the wood paneling and stuff, or the wood desktops, that if you don't have anything organic, it just kind of looks a little too sterile when it's just a bunch of tech products and stuff like that. So I think for the vibe that you're going for, the plants really work well, and you've kind of spaced them out so it's not just a bunch of plants in one area and no plants in the other. You did a really good job there. Overall, not too bad. What's next? Before we continue, special thanks to Linode for sponsoring this video. Linode is a Linux server hosting provider that not only offers dedicated website hosting, but lets you easily build your own VPN to bypass third-party VPN services. Linode also has hundreds of guides for how to host your own video calling servers for utmost privacy and security, along with guides for hosting custom servers. That includes game server apps like Minecraft, Rust, and CSGO. Take full control of your software and hosting the easy way with Linode. Right now, Bitwit viewers will receive a $100 credit by heading to linode.com/bitwit or clicking the link in the description below. Josh Legros. All right, Josh Legros, what do we got here? Oh my. Oh my, oh my. All right, the Clutter King has arrived. This is definitely the messiest setup that we've seen so far. Why are there just like transformers next to your keyboard? And you've got like a little Pokemon plush here. It's very messy. I don't think I have to tell you that. I think you already know, but it's still worth me saying. This stuff's gotta go, man. Find a nice place to display all these things. You've already found a spot for these little guys. I don't know, these action figures aren't terribly large. You should be able to find a good spot for them as well. Clue, you've got Clue, the Office version, which is super cool. I've never played that version, but I'm sure it's great. But it's just chilling on top of this ordinary looking shelf cabinet thing, and I don't know. And what's with the snare drum that's right next to your desk? Do you just occasionally need to hit the snare when you're gaming or something? It's just a very strange spot for it. So the number one critique I have here is just clean your room. It's as simple as that, and that alone will help tremendously. The second thing I'll say is work on your monitor game, because you've got this really old looking Dell display that's got these like, I don't know, these really thick bezels that are curved and kind of hideous. And then you have this other display that also looks old, which is also a Dell. It's a different monitor though, different model that's vertical, and there's like about a foot gap between the two displays, which I'm a little confused by. Maybe you just don't use that as much and you didn't want it in your peripheral vision as much. I don't know, but it looks just kind of spaced out. You can see the cables coming from it, which don't look very neat. Maybe it's time for a monitor upgrade. Get something like a 1440p, maybe get an ultra wide, maybe consolidate this setup to just one single panel. Your system can probably handle it. It's got RGB, so it's definitely super fast, and I think that'll go a long way in helping clean this whole mess up. Yeah, definitely, I would say probably the roughest looking setup we've seen so far today. Definitely lots of room for improvement. Next, we've got Tyler with another L-shaped desk in the corner here. Looks like a pretty spacious desk area. I mean, you're able to fit two panels side by side, which do seem to be matching. Well played, sir. I do like that, and the fact that you're floating them off the desk with a monitor stand is very nice. It looks very clean. On the left side, it looks like you've got sort of a standing setup for whoever's using this laptop, whether it's you or a family member or friend or whatever. Yeah, that looks kind of fine. It looks a little funky, but super functional, you know, if you enjoy working on your laptop while standing, that's a good way to do it. The floating TV on the wall is nice, but the cables dropping from it are not. So you might have to drill a couple holes if you want to hide that mess. It'll look a lot cleaner in the end if you do. I promise it'll be worth it. And as far as the desk itself, like what's on top of it, it does look a little cluttered here. So for one, get a headphone holder, whether it's above your desk, under your desk, find a way to get it off your desk. I say that as my headset is on my desk, but I still have a hook. I still have a hook under mine, it's just not set up right now. But anyway, a lot of bottles and stuff in this corner, just looks very messy. I mean, that's fine that you've got the water bottle there. You gotta stay hydrated when you're gaming, very important. But then all these other, like, what's this big black bottle and these little ones? Are these like protein, is this protein powder or G Fuel or something? I'm not sure. But there's gotta be a better place for it than in the corner of your desk. Looks like you do a bit of streaming here as well with the Halo ring light as well as a webcam, so that's cool. And cable management could use a lot of improvement. There's kind of like your TV, that you've got cable spaghetti coming down, raining from these monitors left and right, which is no bueno. And then it's even worse underneath your desk. Like, this is definitely one of those desks where it's harder to hide cables because it's just so thin, it's got no like actual backing, so you just see it all hang out if you don't do anything with it. But there are cable channels that exist. They've got adhesive backings, or you can even screw it into the bottom of your desk where you can stash all the mess that you see here within those cable channels. They're super cheap on Amazon and stuff, but maybe consider buying a couple of those. I usually like line mine up. If it's a really long desk, I'll like, you know, adhere 2 or 3 of them in a row to the desk underneath, and that usually takes care of any of the mess that you'd otherwise see. And also, what's with the Kleenex box on top of your subwoofer? It's a very, very peculiar spot for tissues. Seems a little sus. Last thing I'll say here is that you might want to consider getting a boom pole for your microphone. I mean, the Blue Yeti's probably working out fine right here, but it's so close to your keyboard, I feel like you'd be elbowing it or trying not to knock into it anytime you're typing and that sort of thing. So a boom pole would just completely take care of that issue, and you'd be able to tuck it away, push it out of sight, out of mind anytime you're not using it, which would be a lot cleaner and a lot more efficient, especially if you plan to stream with this setup regularly. But overall, not a bad setup by any stretch. Thank you for submitting, Tyler. All right, Tweak, what do you got? All right, oh wow, okay, there's a lot going on here. For one, you have a lot of action figures, like figurines and DVDs and Blu-rays. You've got a lot of stuff on these shelves. It looks a bit overwhelming. Kind of cool. It's like cluttered cool, you know? It's like cluttered with purpose, which is a thing, you know? It does look better than a lot of other cluttered parts of setups that I've seen before, but maybe just a smidge too cramped on these shelves. Maybe you gotta start building out some more shelves like above your TV or further along your wall if they're not already there. I don't know, or just kind of optimize this area so it's just not so overbearing. But cable management is also very cluttered, I will say. Whether it's coming from your peripherals, your monitors, your Nintendo Switch back here, it's just a total rat's nest behind this monitor here. I mean, in fact, the whole desk is just mom spaghetti for days. So I would try to clean that up as much as possible. Again, those cable channels that adhere to the bottom of your desk are super helpful for that sort of thing. What's with the paper towel roll? Like, who needs a full-blown paper towel roll at their desk? Also kind of sus. But I'm not gonna ask, I won't judge, it's totally fine. You do have a headphone holder, a headset holder, but kind of. It's like, I don't know, you're just using something hanging off of one of your shelves, but I guess it is better than being on your desk next to the paper towel roll. Enthoo Elite? Holy crap. You have a Enthoo Elite. Why do you need an Enthoo Elite? This better be custom liquid cooled or something. Some crazy high-end desktop PC. Like, this is $1,000 case. No wait, that's not the Enthoo Elite, is it? It is the Enthoo Elite. I know this case, I've built in it. I'm gonna double check. Because nowadays I kind of get confused between that one and the 719. Okay, it's a 719, never mind. But still, you should have a custom liquid cooled or a dual system inside of that chassis, because that thing is huge. There's no point in it taking up all that space in your room if you're not utilizing it. All right, you do have a dual system. Good job, with lots of storage to boot as well. Very nice. I'm digging all the Noctua fans. They're ugly, but super effective. All right, so you get a pass from me for using this case because you're using it well, but I'm not a huge fan of where it's at. Just sort of like, I feel like it shouldn't be on this cheap IKEA dresser. I mean, it's functional and stuff. You've got some storage there you can just pull out and stuff, and it's plenty sturdy for that system, but I just feel like it should be presented a bit more royally. It's a 719. It's not some basic, you know, mid tower. This is a really premium system, especially with that dual system setup and stuff. So I just feel like you should try to do it justice by getting a better display cabinet thing for it, a display stand. I don't know, some kind of nice stand for it to stand on would be outstanding.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It is unfortunate that you can't see the inside of your system from where you're sitting. Obviously, you can just walk around and look at it from the other end, but I always, if I have the option, I always position my system so that I can look into it at any time, just to appreciate the innards and all of my handiwork. And if it's a liquid-cooled system, to make sure it's not leaking, because that happens to me all the time. The Achilles heel of this setup by far is the cable management. So you need to clean that up. You can see wires not just above your desk, but below the desk too. What's all this? All this entanglement?
An entanglement?
Yeah.
You can even see it creeping out from behind the drawers here and in the corner there. And what's with the towel over the chair? Is that for decor? I hope not, because it doesn't look good. Or maybe it's to protect the chair from wear and tear. Like, do you have a hairy, greasy back or something? Or you have cats. If you have cats, then this is an effective way to keep them from scratching it. It is an eyesore, but I understand the cat thing, bro. You gotta do what you gotta do. Those will destroy everything you love. I think the only other thing I would add here, and this is totally my opinion, but I think like a nice little rug, just to have your chair roll around on would be cool. Not only would it make it a little easier or just, I don't know, less slidey, you know, for your chair when you're gaming at your desk and stuff on this hardwood floor, but I think it would also add sort of a nice aesthetic flavor to the setup. Because right now everything here is super solid and smooth. You know, you've got aluminum and wood and drywall. It's all very hard and rigid. I think just having a nice little fabric rug at the bottom would soften things up, add a bit of texture to the setup, and really kind of just give it a more cozy feel overall. But altogether, nice setup. Thanks for sending that one in, Tweak. Holy Toledo, Rodney. What is going on here? My dude. All right, I mean, this is like Nerd Cave for sure, but it's like halfway between really cool and really messy. Like, are you actively working on the stuff that's on this desk? Like, were you just putting together a mechanical keyboard and playing with your figurines? Because I mean, that's cool if you were, but if this is just where their normal location is, their permanent home is, I think there's a better way to display this stuff. You have a lot of wall space that, you know, a big chunk of it is taken up already, but I think you could work it around and maybe relocate certain things, add more shelving, put like some really long shelves that go across this wall, for example, and put a lot of the stuff that's down here up there. And again, it would bring it more front and center and eye level to anyone coming into the room and stuff, which I think is gonna look a lot better. How high are these monitors mounted? I mean, mine are right now maybe 6 or 7 inches off the desk, but yours look like they're a foot off the desk. Are you just like a giant or a giraffe? Like, why are they so high? Is it just me? Maybe I'm tripping. But I guess the bright side of that is you can actually put full-blown bookshelf speakers underneath your monitors without the panels blocking the actual woofers or the tweeters, I should say. So that's cool. Although your system is being partially blocked by this left panel, which it makes me sad. It makes me sad that you can't fully appreciate the upper half of that rig. And you've got 2 systems here, I just noticed. Holy crap, one on the right, one on the left. Kind of red and blue vibe going on here. So you're clearly a streamer. You've got all the equipment, camera, ring lights, these Elgato lights. I don't know if those are Elgato, but you know, those kind of soft LED lights. And then you have, what is this? The Stream Deck from Elgato, as well as the Go XLR, which I've been trying to get my hands on one of those for a while. They're sold out everywhere or super inflated with the pricing, but congrats to you. You got one, you son of a bitch. This could really be a super clean setup if you just pick some things up and relocated some stuff. All the junk on here and, you know, just little trinkets and other things, like a better place for this water bottle, maybe a better place for this headphone stand. Actually, the headphone stand's fine, but you know, it just looks a little bit messy. You've got turkey jerky down here, which I'm not gonna hate on anyone for eating turkey jerky. Shit's delicious, but I don't know if it necessarily belongs right underneath your gaming setup desk. Needs a bit of a reorg, and I also am not digging the fact that your ring light here is kind of blocking your TV. It's just sort of interfering. Like, what happens if you wanna watch TV? Do you gotta move the ring light? Just doesn't look like the most convenient or efficient way to do things. IMO, although if you're never watching that TV and you're streaming all the time, I guess it makes sense. It just doesn't look all that great. You do, however, get bonus points for the Baby Yoda and the neon banana sign. That's awesome. Mr. Polar Bear, all right, just finished this setup with a custom desk I designed and built over the last several months with a 9700K GTX 1070 Ti. Really, custom made desk. I love custom made desks. They're always so cool and unique. And look at this, the monitor stand that you built is pretty cool. It's all like edgy and angular and stuff. Very sleek, very modern, looks good. You've got some RGB underglow right there. Hell yeah. This is a very clean, minimalistic approach. which I always like. You're clearly a Boston Red Sox fan, and you've got the theme colors to reflect that as well. Some memorabilia over here, the red and the PC. It looks really clean, man. I gotta say, even if your monitors aren't matching and stuff, this is kind of out of necessity because you just don't have enough room on this particular desk to even accommodate 2 monitors this size. There's just no way it would fit. But a really nice job on the desk. You did a bang up job there. You clearly know what you're doing. I also like where you put the PC. The fact that it's kind of wedged into the corner, but it's still visible. Anytime you walk into your room, you get to appreciate it. It's right there. You can see, all the pretty sides of it. But the fact that you oriented it this way means all the cables are in the very back corner and aren't going to be visible. Speaking of which, your cable management is flawless. I mean, look at this keyboard. This is like a K95 RGB or something like that. Definitely not a wireless keyboard. Maybe it is a wireless keyboard. Is this wireless or not? Or are you passing it through a hole that you cut out, in the mouse pad and desk or something like that? Because if you did, bang up job. It's super clean. And if it's Bluetooth, you're cheating. No, it's not cheating at all. It's a perfectly viable solution, but very clean. The fact that there's no cables or wires running to and from your peripherals is very satisfying, I will say. Another thing is that a boom pole would also serve you well here. Take that mic off the desk, further clearing up more real estate, and it's just a really nice thing to have. I became a firm believer in boom poles the second I started streaming more regularly, and I think it would help you too. It also kind of just looks cool. IMO. But altogether, very clean setup. There's really not much here I would change, and again, excellent job on that desk. But I think I'm gonna call it here, guys. That was already a lot of setups that we looked through. I don't want this video to go too long, but there are still a ton more submissions that I didn't even scratch the surface of. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna look at some of these on Twitch live. So if you wanna catch that, follow me at Workhorse, twitch.tv/WRKHRS3, where I'm gonna stream this live, give you guys real-time feedback and stuff. I don't know exactly when, but I'll be sure to give you guys a heads up, whether it be here on YouTube in the form of a story or a feed post. So just keep your ear to the ground. You can also follow me at Twitter at wow, that's a really old username, at Bitwit Kyle, or you can follow me on Instagram. I usually post when I'm gonna go live on all those platforms as well. Final announcement, Bitwit hoodies are back in stock, our premium hoodies. Finally, we got more patches. We got more patches to sew onto more hoodies, and they're in stock, so get them while they're hot. They are the highest quality product that we have made to date, apart from our desk mats. Those are a different category though. So if you guys are interested, they stay super warm, they feature really high quality stitching, and they come in black and dusty pink. So check them out at bitwit.tech. Till next time though, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Toss a like on it before you go. Get subscribed for more tech content on the way, and I'll see you guys next time.